It is Monday, April 1st, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well, as we have our first weekend of the 2024 season in the books. Plouffe, it is good to see you. Did you watch a little bit of baseball when you got back?
I got to watch a ton of baseball, a couple of rainy days out here in Southern California. So I sat on the couch and just watched the game. And I'm grateful that I did watch as much as I did, because there was a lot of stuff that happened, see, Rosie. Yeah. A lot of fun opening day series, a lot of some fired up games, some blowouts, but all in all, a ton of great performances. And I can't wait to talk about it with you. I love Mondays, bro. Mondays are so fun because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you've starved yourself all day because you knew you were going out to a great meal at night. And so you're like, oh, I cannot wait to devour this. So let's get to it. Let's start with it. We're bringing back the tip of the cap, and I'm giving a tip of the cap to whomever designed the Texas Rangers World Championship rings. Unbelievable. I mean, they are huge. They are gorgeous. This is the best part. The road insignia. Remember, last year during the playoffs, they went 11-0 on the road. And so they beat in order the Rays, the O's, the Astros, and the Diamondbacks. So whatever creative person came in and said, hey, why don't we spell out road in the logos of the teams that we defeated en route to our first ever world championship? Like, that person not only deserves a raise, but probably deserves to own the team.
Oh, wow. That's a big statement there. I want to know this. I love the ring. I think these things are getting more intricate every single year, which is fine. I mean, it's a World Series ring. It should be awesome. It better be the biggest World Series ring that's ever been manufactured, right? It's Texas. If it's not the biggest, then I'll be a little disappointed. But gosh, that's amazing. I mean, what's better than a World Series ring, dude? Oh.
I'm sorry. We're going to have Austin Hedges on the show this week, and he obviously joined the Rangers after the trade deadline, or right before the trade deadline finished. So he's going to get his hands on that. I think in May is when the Guardians visit, and we're going to get his thoughts on that thing. Looked amazing. Looked absolutely unbelievable.
You know what's also like equally as amazing?
What's that?
Dropping that World Series banner down. Because the rings are good, but the rings go in the vault, and every once in a while you break them out. That banner is up there.
Yeah.
Every single day. I love
Just
that.
like we can ask the guys from McFlurry Power what it feels like.
Oh, or Tampa put their wild card banner up.
That was rough.
Who am I to say anything?
Brewers with a 3-game sweep in Queens this weekend. I suppose that was kind of the sidebar of what happened, because we had Rhys Hoskins and Jeff McNeil going at it. All started on opening day with a quasi-late slide by Hoskins, who, of course, is a former member in the National League East of the Philadelphia Phillies and is bringing that intensity to the Brew Crew, and McNeil didn't like it. He did get the force out at second, said he wasn't really trying to turn it for a double play, and started yelling at Hoskins. And he's like, you're cheap. You do this all the time. And then Hoskins did the Jimmy's breakdown of it was classic. Anyway, let's hear from both combatants.
So late slide. We've had a little bit of a pass, so I knew there was a chance that he'd be coming in like that.
I didn't really think much of it, to be honest. I ended up hitting him, but that's what happens with a slow developing play, and we're trying to make sure he doesn't turn the double play.
So then we were going to wonder, well, would there be any retaliation? And indeed there was, because in the next game, Ramirez throws right over Rhys Hoskins' head, who I thought handled it pretty well. Ramirez ended up getting suspended for 3 games. He has appealed. His manager had to sit out Sunday's game. So if you're keeping track, the Mets' new major league manager now has more suspensions served than wins.
Oh, my God.
Just wanted to get that out there. Plouffe, did you have a problem with the slide, the retaliation, both, or neither?
I had no problem with the slide. Okay, it was a completely legal slide. They believe they even reviewed it. Was it a little bit late? Sure, but like Rhys said, it's a slow developing play. He's still seeing McNeil waiting for the ball. He went into the base, and the reason he turned a little bit is to hook himself on the base, because if you do come off the base, then it becomes an illegal slide, and the runner at first base is out. So you have to stay on the base. The thing I don't understand is, if McNeil didn't think he was going to turn the double play, then just come across and get it. Like he looked like he was trying to turn that thing. He put himself in a bad position. You either got to be leaning towards first base, so then your feet just got taken out from you, or go across the base and avoid it completely. Either one he could have done and didn't do. I think the whole thing started because of the way McNeil reacted, immediately pointing down at Reese and yelling at him. If he didn't do that and just kind of like said to Reese, like, man, what the fuck is that? Like under his breath, and none of this happens. Instead, he fires everyone up, bench is clear, and then now it's like, if you're Carlos Mendoza and you're a new manager and it's a new season, like, can you let this slide without retaliating when one of your veteran players is yelling, saying this guy did something dirty to me? Like, it puts your team in an unfortunate position. So I didn't have a problem with the slide. I had a problem with the way that McNeil reacted to it because I don't think it was dirty. I obviously had a problem with the way that they retaliated. Reese said after he got thrown out, he said, there's a way to police the game. It's been going on for a long time. If Severino came out with the open base and hit Reese in the leg, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, from the belt down, you can hit somebody, not up around the head. If he did that, I think it's over, and that's it. And I don't think he would have got thrown out, which a lot of Met fans are like, that's why they didn't do it. They didn't want to get Sevy thrown out of the game. If he comes out and does it the way he's supposed to do it, they'll issue warnings and the game will move on. That's it. They just didn't do it the way that they should have done it. Now, maybe they had a plan to do it later on in the game. Maybe that was the plan all along. But after Reese goes off the way he did the rest of the game, you can't throw at him. It looks horrible. Ron Darling said as much on the broadcast. Like, when a guy beats you down, like the way Reese did, you can't throw at him. And not to mention, you throw at him, you brought the wrong guy in to throw at him. Carlos Mendoza, after the game, was so adamant that this wasn't on purpose and it was just that Ramirez has extreme control issues. That's the guy you bring in, the guy that can't do it properly. Like I said, belt down, no problem. A guy that can't control where it's going, throwing a bowling ball like this up near his head, I have an issue with that. I think it's ridiculous. So I'm happy he got thrown out. I'm happy he got suspended. I'm happy that Carlos Mendoza had to sit out because it was stupid. The way they handled this was absolute horseshit, C. Rose. Not only is it putting Reese in danger, up in the head, no good, right? But it puts Pete Alonso in danger. It puts Francisco Lindor in danger. It definitely puts Jeff McNeil in danger. Like Pat Murphy decided not to retaliate because I think it probably was the best move. Like they're already going to sweep. Like, what? You don't need to do anything else. But if he was going to retaliate, it just puts your team in danger. And all of this stems from, Chris, I know I went long on this, but all of this stems from the way that McNeil reacted, which I think was wrong. You could have reacted so many different ways. When you start pointing and yelling and getting all fired up for no reason, this is what it causes. And if you're McNeil and Reese gets hit and then somebody else on your team gets hit, you look like a fool.
Yes. How about this? They threw at Rhys Hoskins because he did something legal. Let's just take that statement unto itself just for a second here. If we're going to, I love this. Players police the game. No, you don't. You don't police the game. The umpires in the league police the game. If they said the slide was legal, which it was, then nobody should have a problem with it. I mean, I just don't get it. I'm sorry. If you want to change the rules and say, well, you have to start sliding from 6 feet out of the base instead of 3 feet out of the base, then let's change the rules. I'm all for changing rules and adapting and stuff like that. They went back. You said it. They reviewed it. They said it was clean. It came back. Fine. We had a little dust up out there in the field. After they were told it was clean, they still threw over his head. And quite frankly, baseball didn't penalize these guys enough. I would have suspended the guy 6 games. I would have doubled it. I'm sorry. Why only 3? Because it's the start of the year and everybody's got a little extra testosterone. I thought Rhys Hoskins, the fact that Ramirez then went toward the plate, Rhys Hoskins could have come out and kicked his ass. I don't know who would have won the fight, but he certainly could have started something. Here he is 10 feet away from him after just getting buzzed.
I don't think he went necessarily towards Reese. I think he threw that ball so errantly that I think he was maybe trying to get the ball as well. And then when he got up to home plate, he kind of made his way towards Reese.
I get it. What was he worried that the guy was going to score from first on the play?
Yeah, it was just It was a bad look for the Mets all weekend long. The way they played on the field, the way they acted on the field. The only one that had a great weekend was Pete Alonso. He got to hit a homer. Then he went and sang with Zach Bryan on stage. He had a great time.
Sure. That was good. By the way, it was funny that some people were saying that he should focus more on baseball. Folks, they're human beings. What do you want them to go take BP at their home at 10:07 at night after they've played a game?
Unbelievable. Yeah, the whole situation was just weird. I think it's embarrassing for the Mets, which is like, that's not what they want. It's been a talking point for the last couple years. And it started off first series of the year. You get swept. You look like fools. Like they dug themselves a hole.
Yeah. And by the way, these two teams won't see each other till the end of the year. So we're going to have
the last series, right?
A 6-month cooling off period. Oh, one other thing. Mark Vientos, who was supposed to be the DH until the Mets signed JD Martinez, reportedly liked an Instagram post of Rhys Hoskins hitting the home run on Saturday. Now, listen, I've got fat thumbs too, so sometimes I'm shuttling through and I accidentally like something. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it was a slip of the thumb.
Okay. Hopefully. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All right, more of a statement road sweep against a playoff team from last year. The Yankees taking 4 in Houston or the Pirates taking 4 in Miami?
I just noticed I have a Pirates hat on.
Yes, you do.
I'm not like you. It's not for that reason. I love what the Pirates did. Their bullpen did an excellent job. I think it was like 22 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, some big homers, some late inning drama. But it's got to be the Yankees going into Houston and doing what they did. There's so much talk around everywhere about Juan Soto and what was he going to do this year for the Yankees? What difference was he going to make? I think if you watch those games, you understand the difference he's made in that lineup already. Judge had 2 hits the entire series. They swept the Astros in a 4-game set. Juan Soto and Oswaldo Cabrera and these Yankees are just taking better at bats because when you watch a guy like Juan work, it rubs off on people. They talk about hitting is contagious. The way you take at bats is contagious, man. Like watching him be patient, spitting on these pitches, doing it. I mean, the Hader Juan Soto matchup is what baseball fans dream of. We're talking, think about how difficult this at bat is for Juan Soto. One of the best lefty relievers we've seen in the sport in decades. Josh Hader's like, check the track record out, people. He's incredible. The at bat that him and Soto went up against each other. Hader didn't make many mistakes. He was on the peripheral of the strike zone. He wasn't like laying things right off the plate. And Juan Soto kept spitting on pitches, finally gets the pitch away to drive. I mean, I think the Yankees just, with him on that team, there's a different feeling. There's a different identity. They got to Presley. They got to Abreu. They got to Hader. They've now won 7 in a row against the Astros. I know the Astros didn't play well at home last year, but it's still a very difficult place to play. And they were in these games. It wasn't like 4 blowouts. I mean, the Yankees did have to come back, I believe, in 3 of them. But to be able to go make that statement, start the year 4-0, again, without Judge performing, he's the guy that carried the offense last year. If he didn't hit, they didn't win. 2 hits in 4 games, but they go 4-0 against the Astros. I think it's obviously the bigger storyline here.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it a statement because I don't think you can make statements in March that can then carry over to October. To me, it's somewhat comical that, and I know that if you're and I'm not picking on the Yankees, it's just that this happens to be the situation, or the fans. Because you watch your team more than you probably watch anybody else in baseball. But to hear Yankee fans be like, I cannot believe how good a player Juan Soto is.
Yeah, where you
been, folks? He's been doing this. He actually did it against Josh Hader in the 2019 wild card game.
That's right.
He's been doing this since he was a teenager.
Wow, Chris, good callback right there. Forgot about that.
Well, I mean,
right past Trent Grisham.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that got the Nationals propelled into the divisional round and then on their way to their first ever World Series championship. So he's been doing this forever. He is a difference maker. I don't know if he's going to end up signing a long-term deal with the Yankees. I don't know if we can say, is it one of the greatest trades the Yankees have? I don't know. I mean, the guy's going to have to spend more than 1 year out there. But in the meantime, all he does is continue to up his value with every at-bat that he has because he is as disciplined a hitter as we've seen and as dangerous working it all the way from foul pole to foul pole as virtually anybody in this sport. I thought the biggest key you already talked about, the fact that they got to Abreu, Presley, and Hader over 4 days, because we said once they signed Hader, okay, they're moving Presley to a different role, but man, you better have the lead against the Astros by the 7th inning or you're not winning. Well, that wasn't the case. The Yankees came back in 3 of those 4 games and dusted them from the late going on. So really good win. I do want to mention that the Pirates last year, we tend to forget this. They got off to that blazing hot start of 20 and 8 a year ago. So I don't know if this is something that can propel them to stay in a wild card chase all the way to August or September. It's too early. The good thing is that Jared Jones, he comes out, he strikes out 10 in his debut. He touched 99.9. By the way, if we're that close to 100, guys, can we at least round up on just one of them? Yeah, thank you. And then you've got Paul Skeens waiting in the wings. He was perfect in his debut for Indianapolis over the weekend. At some point soon, hopefully we get to see those 2 guys at the top of the rotation. And if you have those 2, if it's your version of Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, great. Let's build off that.
Yeah, very exciting set there for the Pirates. I think I'm gonna talk about a little bit more of that series later on in the show.
Quick reminder that today's episode is sponsored by our friends over at SeatGeek. If you don't know what SeatGeek is, come on. It's the #1 rated ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple. They've had more than 28 million downloads. That has made it the #1 rated ticketing app. You probably get on that thing and you're like, holy smokes, how many events do they have every day? More than 70,000. That includes sporting events, concerts, festivals, and much more. And they always want to make sure that you're getting the best deal possible. So that means when you're looking on the app, let's say you want to go get NBA tickets or tickets behind a dugout or something, you're going to say, oh, that's obviously the best deal. No. Slow your roll. SeatGeek actually rates it on a scale of 0 to 10. Obviously, the higher number, the better deal it is. And also, they color code it. So green dot, good deal. Red dot, calm down, rethink it, check it. Because even though you might think they're great seats, it might not be the best deal possible. And every ticket is backed by a buyer guarantee. SeatGeek's the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps. And guess what? We got the hookup as well. Use the code today for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. That is $20 off your first purchase with the promo code today. Click on the link in the description. Get it going. We'll see you at a game or a festival or a concert near you. The Phillies avoid a late sweep at the hand of the Braves, and they did it without Bryce Harper on Sunday after he tumbled into the dugout. Was Harper's gymnastics the biggest wow moment of that series between NL East rivals?
I did not like to see that. I'll be honest with you. Bryce has got to have a little bit more awareness there. I mean, I know people like to see him go balls out and do that whole thing, but hey, Bryce, we need you on the field, big guy. I will say that there was a couple for me. I mean, this is a huge series, obviously. Whenever these 2 teams meet, it's excellent, fun baseball. Max Fried going 2/3 of an inning and then getting pulled, but the Braves still winning that game is awesome. Matt Olson's 47-degree launch angle homer, incredible. But I'm going to give this one to Ozzie Albies. The second and third games of the series, it's 2-run homer, one from the left, one from the right. Like, I don't think this guy on that team gets enough love. I think the thing we always talk about is, yeah, his contract sucks. And it's like, dude, this guy is a freaking baller. Is he the best second baseman in the league? Like, what he's able to do and the spark plug that he brings to that team and just the person that he is, the way he plays baseball. I just wanted to give him his flowers a little bit. He's an absolute star. So I did like seeing that. When you can go right and left-handed, get your team up with some homers, I think it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, the Harper thing scared the hell out of me. You know, first of all, there's nobody at that part of the railing. That's the Phillies dugout, right? And there's nobody there to help assist him except the camera dude who's obviously doing his job over there. So holy smokes, like that is... I mean, we saw 2 of those. We saw that, and we saw Wilmer Flores of the Giants eat it shit too, and he had to leave the game later. That sort of stuff scares me. And by the way, if that is the visiting dugout, I've never understood that, well, we can't help him. Dude, he's another ball player. Like, you really want him tumbling over? Like, this is not the 80s and the 70s. Like, we've made progress as a society. If there's one thing I want baseball players to listen to, if there's a guy trying to make a play, like you don't have to assist him and tell him where the ball's going, but holy smokes, if he's about to freaking fall on his head on concrete, help him out.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
Okay,
it's his job not
fine.
to tumble in. It's his job not to tumble into the bowl or to the dugout.
That's true. Well, certainly not at that rate of speed. It looked like he was trying to pull a Usain Bolt and try and get over there as fast as he could.
And you know what? Like it's if you see a guy on the home team, like your own guy coming at you, there's 5 guys right there ready to catch you. But
Right.
it's just different if it's not your team. That's his responsibility. That's like
Okay.
Jazz Chisholm saying, "Wake me up."
Oh, let's not get into that anymore. We've moved on. Plouffe, did you ever have like somebody that didn't help you over at the third base railing one time?
I had a great catch against the Kansas City Royals. I think it was Alex Gordon hit a pop up over. There's like a little section of seats there. It's not the dugout, but it's very
Yes.
similar to a dugout. And I went up and tumbled right into that thing and caught the ball, but none of the fans helped me out. Luckily, I was okay. I milked it a little bit. I got up like, oh,
Hell yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
hurt.
nice.
But I was fine because I was built different back then.
Wasn't that the Moustakas railing? The one where he in the
Yeah.
either in the World Series or the playoffs, one of those 2 years, and they actually made a bobblehead. If I was back home, I'd
Yeah.
show you the bobblehead. I've got the bobblehead.
He's a stud,
Good
and
one.
I think congrats on a great career to Mike Moustakas.
Did he call it quits?
He's home right now. He asked me to play golf the other day.
Well, that
I
doesn't
know he
mean
got
he was home
released-
last year.
I know. I didn't ask him yet, like, hey, are you done? But like
Well,
he'll wind up on a roster and go fucking
Probably.
break. Yeah. Never mind.
Probably.
Never mind that.
I never gave you my answer, which was Michael Harris II going at it with Philly fans on Twitter over the weekend.
that's
I
pretty funny.
I love this. I love this rivalry. These are two great teams. I think the Braves have kind of put their arms around Philly fans instead of their necks, which is probably a better direction to go. But he said, listen, I'd like to thank all the Philly fans for my awesome start to the season. You guys in center field really got me fired up and focused and all that stuff. And of course, we all remember Orlando Arcia, attaboy Harper last year during the playoffs, got reported, and the Philly fans getting all over, all that sort of stuff. This is actually good. This is good. These are two great teams that I think are going to be competing all year long. I actually like it that Michael Harris the second is saying some stuff in social media. Sometimes that can get a little sideways, but I thought the way he handled it was great. Obviously, some fans couldn't stay in their own lane, if you know what I mean, and had to take it a terrible direction. But I think as long as he's still having fun with it, it could be something that is great to watch over a 6-month span.
I got another one too. Just real quick. This series is always gonna bring out a lot of fun things. Jesse Chavez. Just 3 innings pitched, getting the win out of nowhere. Like, that's what he does.
It is. It's really cool. We had some great finishes over the weekend, and it finished with the last game from Sunday night where the Dodgers were down 4 in the late going against the Cardinals. They chip away, and then Max Muncy, boom. He could have hit a freaking ball in the ocean for all I know. So they end up winning 3 of 4, I believe, against St. Louis. And they're off to a hot start, whether it's in Korea or here in the States. But was there one other, like, got you out of your chair moment from this weekend?
Yeah, it was the Reds in that comeback, the walk-off homer by Encarnacion Strand. It all starts with Jonathan India, the guy in second base, 3-2, 2 outs. It's a double down the line to keep the game going. Then our guy, Will Benson, gets a little split piece here, first pitch. Yeah! Just an absolute bomb. He's so strong. I did call out a 30-30 season for this guy, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
So there's number one. And then obviously Encarnacion Strand, I believe this is a 1-0 pitch, same pitch, a splitter, ends the game. Look, this team has those type of players. They have those guys that are going to step up, big moment type guys that seem like they relish those opportunities. The lineup, even without McLean and Marte, and who else is out? Friedel's out. Like they lost a lot of guys before the season even started. But dang, man, they showed up, and that was a great victory. And just one of those things that happens so fast. You're 3-2, 2 outs. If you're the Nationals, you're gonna win this game, and all of a sudden, India, Benson, Encarnacion Strand, game over, walk back, sorry, hit the cold showers.
There's a reason I'm wearing a Giants hat, and I didn't bust it out till now because I'm actually in San Diego helping our son move because they played the Padres. Jung-Ho Lee, off to an awesome start for them. We all wondered what he could supply when they inked him to a $113 million deal. Like, you're going to give that much money to a contact hitter? Well, he went over the wall for his first major league home run, ended up being caught by some Padres fans who wanted to meet him afterward. They were nice enough to return the baseball to him, and they said that Kim is their favorite player. So he said, oddly enough, I'm having dinner with him tonight. I will talk to him about you guys. So thank you so much for being classy and gracious. And it was a wonderful exchange. This is a fantastic photo. And then you know that the Giants ball players dig this guy when they give him the beer shower. And he loved every minute of it. You know, we remember his first press conference here where, you know, he was talking about Go Giants, and he did a part of it in English, and he puts the hat on and he goes, I'm so handsome. So, like, you can tell he's got a great personality. Can't wait to talk to Logan Webb, who's a new co-host of the Rose Rotation, about just the feeling guys are getting around him. Conforto had some great quotes. He said, everybody's watching when he's up there. It's his discipline, his eye at the plate, his ability to stay on pitches, stay in the middle of the field. He's been awesome. And I think that's just a great tribute to who he is. Sometimes we forget how difficult it can be, even when you're successful in another country, to come over here, to deal with the culture, to deal with everything that's thrown your way, and to blend right in instantaneously. That's something special.
100%. You bring a guy to a new team, whether he's from Korea or you're switching organizations. Like, it's a very difficult thing to find yourself in a new clubhouse with new guys and really, you know, become part of the fabric of the team. He's done that easily. And then also to perform the way he's performed. I mean, he's also a hot boy, Chris. Like, I'm kind of like all in on him right now. The way he's been acting and performing and the way teammates are talking about him. Like, I think that a lot of people thought that the Giants overpaid for him in the offseason. Mm-hmm. The one guy, Boris, did get paid, overpaid. Maybe not. Maybe they paid exactly what they should have paid for this guy, because he's looked great so far.
All right, last one before we get out of here for the day. Stranger thing you heard this weekend. Ron Washington calling a team meeting after his team fell to 0-2 out in Baltimore. Or Marlins outfielder Avisail Garcia saying he didn't like getting booed after striking out in his first at-bat of the year in front of the home crowd.
I don't hate the meeting after 0-2. I think the Angels are at that level where, like, I think it's okay for your manager to step in and say, hey, guys, we're not doing what we've done the last couple of years. Like, we're better than this, and this is what we have to do. Like, if it's a short, to-the-point meeting where he actually has something to say, I have no problem with it. In fact, like, I think there should be more meetings where everyone gets together and says, this is the direction. Let's get it going. It really does kind of galvanize a team, especially if Ron Washington's doing it, because he's like that. So I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people might, but I don't. The Marlins, just the Mets looked really bad this weekend, but the Marlins looked almost equally as bad. Okay, you got Jazz Chisholm saying we couldn't hit the relievers because of the shadows. We're used to playing inside. They had the roof open for a few games. Like, bro, there's some things you can talk about. Like, you know, maybe I do understand that. The shadows suck, dude. Okay, I understand that. I played in shadows. It does suck, but that's something you keep to yourself. You talk about amongst yourselves in the clubhouse. Avisail Garcia, it does suck to get booed after your first at bat. And it is, the game does look easy from the stands, but that's something you talk about with your people in the clubhouse. And Jazz, you don't have to blow up former teammates. Like, keep that in the clubhouse. Like, these guys have been going out into the media and saying silly stuff. I don't know what they're talking about and why they're talking about it. And they're talking about the leadership is so good on this team right now. I don't see any leadership on this team right now, because you wouldn't be saying those things in the media if there was leadership there. So I think both those NL East teams embarrassed themselves this weekend.
A little too close to home on the whole leadership situation. I will abstain from a portion of that discussion. The Avisail Garcia part, though, and for the record, I didn't have a problem with Wash calling it. It was early. But heck, the Chicago Bulls had a team meeting after game 1 of this past season. Not that it really helped them, but it took twice as long for Wash to call one.
Of course you would know that.
With Avisail Garcia, they weren't booing you after the first at bat of the season. They were booing you after 2 disastrous years and the first at bat of your 3rd season. He was brought in there to supply some pop in the middle of the lineup. He's barely in the lineup. He has now played a total, including this year, 138 games since signing there in 2022. I mean, even Anthony Rendon is like, dude, can you show up for work occasionally? He's hit 11 total homers. Total. There's guys that do that in a month. So while I've always had this discussion, like, when should fans boo? When should they cheer? Like last year, we saw the whole Trey Turner thing in Philly. Did that turn around his season? We think so. He certainly didn't shy away from it. Would it help Avisail Garcia if maybe they gave him a standing ovation in his next home game? Perhaps. But this is not one at-bat of frustration. This is 2+ years, and he has to understand that. Everything is put in context.
Why would they cheer him if he comes out and says that about the fan base? Now, you can go back to Alec Boehm saying, I fucking hate it here or hate this place. But what did he do afterwards? The veterans got to him and said, you better own up to that. And he did, and everything has changed for him. Guess what? Alec Boehm loves it there now. And Trey Turner got those standing ovation. He didn't say anything bad. He wasn't performing well. And they wanted to pick him up because, that's not the case here, man. You're coming at your fan base for what?
Hey, you know what his OPS plus since joining the Marlins is 59. Is it? I mean, don't you just get that? Isn't that like sign your name on the SAT and you get 400 points? Don't you just get that for showing up in the batter's box or something?
I my last couple of years, I probably was around that, Chris, about 55 OPS plus guy. There's no chance I would have got on the mic and said something bad about the fan base. I would have said, man, everything you're doing is correct. I stink right now. You got to own up to it, man. Like, and I'm not saying these guys are bad guys, but like you need to understand that there are things that, especially in today's day and age, where one soundbite can be everywhere in an instant. There are things that just need to stay between you and your fellow teammates or whoever you can trust. Don't get in front of cameras and start saying stuff like this, guys. It makes you look soft.
And then people go immediately, let's see what he's making. Oh, $12 million a year. Oh, not only this year, but next year. And then after that, we have a
Rowdy Tellez didn't have a problem with the Shadows. He had a freaking bomb. And the Pirates came back to win that game. How about this? How about when you get your what pushed in by the bullpen of a different team, you say, hey, man, those guys did a great job. We look forward to facing them again. We're going to get them next time.
Well, that's a different discussion.
Okay.
The next time I hear athletes or fans give respect to the other team for doing a great job, it'll be one of the first times.
Come on, man. No,
it doesn't happen.
It can't happen, dude.
Wait, hold on. How often do you hear guys say, hey, listen, if we do what we need to do, we will win the game?
Sure. You could have said that too. It's a lot better than what was said down there in Miami.
Quick, two things before we get out of here that are important. One is a week from Friday, we've got our live event of Baseball Today in Los Angeles at Boomtown Brewery. Go get your general admission seats. VIP's sold out, but still plenty of general admission, which means you can stand next to Trevor Plouffe and smell him, which is a great thing. I recommend everybody try it. Number two, because
don't do that. Don't come up and smell me. Please don't.
Okay, sorry. Don't smell him.
Yeah, thank you.
That was my fault. Don't do it. You can smell me, but do it at your own risk. The other thing is that it sounds like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to go a little bit later. We might be going at noon Eastern. We're still working that out. So just be aware because we know we're getting like 2,000 people in the live chat right now, close to that number. Keep growing that. We want you guys to be a big part of this. We'll continue to work into the show at some point. Thank you for your patience, but just wanted to let you know that. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, it sounds like we're going to go at 11:30 Eastern. So there you go.
Yep.
Everybody enjoy watching baseball. Some teams have their home openers. Other teams continue on the road. It's fun. We love it. We're Monday through Friday. Every day, it is Baseball Today. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, and the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, do not smell him if you come to our event a week from Friday. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday on Baseball Today.